All right, let me set the scene for you, man. Imagine the absolute peak of competition, the best clubs in the world, guys who've been training since they were little kids, chasing one dream, one shot at glory, and then imagine being the team that actually climbs to the very top of that mountain, holding a trophy that says you're not just good, you're the best on the planet. And now here's the crazy part. You'd think the whole world would stop for that moment. You'd think headlines, front pages, everyone buzzing, but nah, that's not how it went down. And that's where it gets fascinating because we're not just talking about football here. We're talking about culture, about how we consume greatness, about how easily we let noise hijack real achievement. And that's the wild ride I want to take you on right now because Chelsea just pulled off something historic, something legendary. But the story of what happened around it might tell us even more about where we are as a society. So buckle in, man, because this isn't just about a game, it's about how we see the world. Dude, you got to wrap your head around how big this was because people throw the word historic around all the time, but Chelsea winning the Club World Cup is the real deal. It's like the ultimate stamp on being the best, right? Because think about it. They'd already conquered Europe. They'd gone through that whole Champions League gauntlet, beating the absolute best clubs, tactical masterminds, players worth hundreds of millions, and then they fly across the world to face the champions from every continent. The kind of teams that might not always get the spotlight in Europe, but are absolute killers in their own league. And Chelsea had to step into that arena and prove they weren't just European champions, but global champions, which is insane when you think about the grind of a football season, the pressure, the injuries, the travel, the fact that one bad 90 minutes can wreck everything. They still pulled it off, man. They stood tall under the lights. You've got Kai Havertz slotting in that penalty with ice in his veins. Thiago Silva organizing the back like a general, the midfield grinding it out like a machine. Then you look at the bigger picture. The Club World Cup isn't just some random trophy. It's literally the last piece Chelsea had been missing in their cabinet. They'd done the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, even the Europa. But this one was like the holy grail of we run the world now. And for the fans, it meant bragging rights on a cosmic level. Like they could look at any rival supporter and say, yeah, but we're the best on the planet. And imagine being a player in that squad. You've been fighting all year, sacrificing your body, your time, your mental health, and now you're holding a trophy that literally says you are number one across the globe. It's mind-blowing, man, because football is so massive. Billions of people watch it, and only one club gets to hold that title each year, and Chelsea did it. And the crazy thing is that it should have been this shining headline everywhere, a celebration of peak athletic achievement. But in the weird way our world works, it got drowned out. Like the media can't just let sports glory be the top story. They're addicted to noise. And here you have this squad of warriors who just went through fire and came out holding gold. And instead of basking in that spotlight, they're fighting to be noticed in the chaos, man. The energy after that win was just electric. Like you could feel it pulsing through the stadium, through the screens, even if you were sitting at home thousands of miles away. It's that primal thing sports does to people. It taps into this deep tribal part of us where your team winning feels like you won, like you physically went to war and came back with the trophy. And Chelsea fans were losing their minds. You see the blue flags waving, you hear the chants echoing, people crying, people hugging strangers. It's raw emotion exploding all at once, and the players, dude, they're not even just celebrating, they're almost in disbelief. They're screaming, they're pounding the badge on their chest, they're lifting that cup like it weighs nothing, even though it's the heaviest moment of their careers, and you can see the sweat, the adrenaline, the relief, the joy. It's all mixing into this cocktail of pure madness, because winning is one thing, but winning at that level, knowing you've put your club's name in history, that's like transcendent, and the scenes are wild. Havertz getting mobbed after burying the penalty, the bench storming the pitch like a tidal wave, Tuchel going nuts on the sidelines, the whole squad bouncing, dance cameras flashing everywhere, fireworks going off in the background, and the fans, man, the fans are singing like their throats are gonna bleed. That collective roar is like a thunderclap. It shakes you. It makes you realize this is why people dedicate their lives to football, because these moments are pure, they're sacred. You don't think about your problems. You don't think about your job. You don't think about politics. You're just there in that moment, riding the high of your team conquering the world, and it's contagious. Even if you're not a Chelsea fan, you feel it. You're like, damn, this is what it looks like when human beings pour everything they've got into something and it pays off. And you think about the journey, the grind, the heartbreaks along the way, the close calls, the criticism, all of it dissolves in that moment of euphoria. And the crazy part is how the energy spreads. Like in London pubs, you've got beers flying in the air, dudes on tables screaming. Half the crowd doesn't even know each other, but they're acting like family. And on social media, it's a global frenzy. clips of the celebration going viral instantly, people posting memes, edits, highlights. It's like the world stopped for a second to watch blue confetti fall from the sky, and that's the magic of it, man. That's the drug of sports, that insane, uncontrollable wave of energy when a dream becomes reality. Here's the wild part, man. Chelsea go out, they make history. They should be the kings of the sports world for at least a week. That's their moment. But then, boom, out of nowhere, some massive outside noise drops, and it's like the media's collective brain just goes, oh, shiny thing, and suddenly the win is no longer front page, it's tucked under the drama, and that's insane because you've got a team that literally just conquered the planet in football terms. But the headlines, the clicks, the discussions, they're all hijacked by something that has nothing to do with the sport, and it makes you wonder if people are addicted to chaos more than they are to greatness. Like the algorithms don't even care about historic achievement, they just feed you whatever crazy thing popped up, and this wasn't even subtle, it was instant. Like 1 second Chelsea players are holding the trophy, confetti raining down, and the next second you turn on the TV or check your feed and it's dominated by controversy, by noise, and I'm sitting there going, dude, how does this happen? How is the most universal sport in the world, the most watched moment in that week, getting shoved aside like it's a preseason friendly? And it tells you a lot about culture right now. People are way more locked into spectacle than substance, because a world championship in football, that's substance, that's blood, sweat, tears, thousands of hours of grind, and it gets overshadowed by some loud story that's got nothing to do with the game. And you can see it on fan reactions too. They're like, why aren't we getting the attention we deserve? Why is our historic achievement being treated like a side note? And it's almost comical, because if you step back, you realize that sports in its purest form is supposed to be an escape from that noise. It's supposed to be a unify, something bigger than politics or media spins. But the second there's a distraction, all that purity gets pushed down the feed, and it makes you think maybe we're living in this permanent circus where the loudest thing always wins, and it doesn't matter how meaningful or historic something else is. And that's what's frustrating, because Chelsea's win should have been celebrated globally as a peak sports moment. But instead it was like background music while the world argued about something else, and that's just crazy, man. That's just the way this machine works. Here's the way I see it, man. The whole thing is just hilarious and depressing at the same time. Like, you've got Chelsea literally on top of the world lifting a trophy that maybe 1% of professional footballers will ever even touch. And instead of the media and fans marinating in that greatness, everyone's attention span just evaporates. And that's the kind of thing I talk about all the time on the podcast, like how our brains are wired to chase the loudest noise instead of the most meaningful thing. Because what's more meaningful than a group of humans dedicating their entire lives to a goal and then actually achieving it? That's inspirational as hell, but people are like, nah, give me chaos, give me outrage, give me something messy. And it's such a reflection of where we're at culture. Like, we're living in this slot machine of information, and the only thing that pays out is whatever makes people yell, not whatever makes people think or feel inspired. And that's crazy, because if you strip it down, sports should be the ultimate story. It's primal, it's tribal, it's battle without death, it's proof of human discipline and greatness. But instead of focusing on that, the machine just shoves it to the side because some controversy somewhere got more clicks, and my brain just goes, dude, what are we doing? Like, imagine telling a Chelsea player who's bleeding out in training, grinding through 60 matches a year, giving everything for the badge, that when they finally hit the peak, people are going to be talking about some random media circus instead. That's insane. That's where my frustration comes in, but also my amazement, because it's fascinating to watch how predictable it is. Like, the second there's a distraction, you can bet everything that the news cycle will flip, no matter how historic the sports moment is. And as a comedian, I can't help but laugh, because it's absurd. It's like we're all goldfish 1 second hyped about a world championship, the next second gone, forgotten, moving on to the next shiny object. And that's the Rogan angle, man. It's this mix of being blown away by the dedication of the athletes, pissed off at the way the culture ignores them, and then also just cracking up at how ridiculous the whole system is. Because in a sane world, Chelsea's win would have been the story of the week, but in our world, it was just Tuesday, just another blip drowned out by noise. So at the end of the day, man, what sticks with me is just how wild it is that Chelsea went out there and conquered the world. They did the damn thing. They wrote their name into history, and yet the way the world works right now, the noise almost drowned it out. But that doesn't erase what happened on that pitch. That doesn't erase the blood, the grind, the insane level of focus it takes to become world champions. And I think that's the part people need to remember, that greatness exists even when the headlines don't give it the respect it deserves. And honestly, I find that kind of inspiring because it shows you that real achievement doesn't need validation from the circus. It just exists. It's real, it's solid. And if you're a Chelsea fan or even just a lover of the sport, you carry that with you. You know what your team accomplished, and nobody can take that away. No distraction, no media shift, no noise. It's written into the history books forever, and that's badass, man. That's legacy. Shout out to Chelsea. Shout out to the players who bled for it. Shout out to the fans who lived and died through it. And to everybody listening, remember this. Focus on the real stuff, the meaningful stuff, the moments that prove what human beings are capable of when they give, because that's the good energy, that's the stuff worth celebrating. So good luck out there, chase your own version of that trophy, and thank you for hanging with me. I appreciate you guys more than you know.